Well, hey now, welcome to Fitz's Electric Bar. Thanks for joining. This is the morning after the night before. Not like I went on a huge tear, but I went to see Wilco last night. And I've seen a couple really good shows recently, the Wilco one being one of them. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of these concerts that I've seen, a little bit of my thoughts about them. On the back deck, kind of gray. Here, I always give a little weather forecast at the beginning. You can definitely feel fall coming on, and in the Pacific Northwest, it basically means, oh no, here comes 6 months of rain. So first off, I'm gonna, so basically as the concerts go, something old, something new. So the something old, I'll get to in a minute, but I'm gonna talk about something new for me. He's not necessarily super new, and that's Billy Strings. I've been hearing about Billy Strings for a long time. I really am not familiar with his music at all. He is, I guess, considered to be Grateful Dead adjacent. I think he himself is a huge Grateful Dead fan. He opened up for one of the nights of the Dead and Company shows at San Francisco's Golden Gate Park a couple weekends ago, and performed Wharf Rat with Dead and Company as well in their set. Cornerstone of what we'd call newgrass or the bluegrass movement. He came to town with his band. For those of you who don't know, Billy Strings has a stand-up bass player, a mandolin player, a banjo player, and there are no drums. Billy himself plays guitar, acoustic guitar, but he's got some pedals that make that acoustic guitar sound electric at times. So it's not strictly speaking bluegrass. There's definitely a lot of electric and kind of rock and roll elements, even some psychedelic moments for sure. 2 sets. I'm going to put a link to the first song that Nugs put out as a freebie on YouTube called Taking Water, and it was just a killer intro. Got some nice dramatic kind of build up at the beginning, and it just cooks. And one of the great things was seeing Billy Strings here in Vancouver. I believe this is his first visit to Vancouver, that he doesn't, I guess they didn't expect that he'd be able to get a huge draw, so he played the Commodore Ballroom. Commodore Ballroom, I mentioned before, one of my all-time favorite concert venues. It's a bar. It's a nice bar. It's been around forever. Incredible sight lines, basically mostly one level, a little bit of a balcony as well. But it's always one of my favorite places to see a band. The acoustics are phenomenal. The only song I knew was the last song that they did, which was a cover of Brain Damage, Pink Floyd. And if you've ever heard of Green Sky Bluegrass doing Pink Floyd as well, I think they do Breathe and a couple other ones off of Dark Side of the Moon. Pink Floyd can be done bluegrass in a spectacular way. It's really well suited to it, surprisingly. Anyways, phenomenal show. Crowd was super into it. 2 nights, both sold out. They sold out immediately. I think there must have been a lot of people who were coming up to Vancouver, I'm guessing maybe from the States, because it would have been a great opportunity to see them. As I understand, Billy Strings plays much bigger venues in the US. So that was fantastic. Really, really enjoyed that. Recommend you guys check out Billy Strings, and I'll put a link to that first song, Taking Water, from the first night, first set of Billy Strings. Second concert I saw was Wilco. It was called An Evening with Wilco. I've probably seen, this is the old, as it were. I've probably seen Wilco, I don't know, 8 or 9 times. Been a fan for years. Been a fan really since AM, since the first record coming out of Uncle Tupelo. And I wasn't planning to go to the show. I mean, the thing is, when you've got a band like Wilco that you've seen many times, there are some tours where you just go, I'm not sure that I'm going to go and see that one. And suddenly, yesterday morning, I got an email from the promoter offering $20 tickets. So I'm like, okay, let's go. So I talked my wife into coming. We got some really good seats, and off we went to the Peony Fair. The Peony Fair is kind of Vancouver's version of, I think, like a state fair. So it runs for about 2 weeks, the last half of August, and it ends at the end of Labor Day weekend. They've got the amusement park rides, they've got the mini donuts, the smell of vomit in the corners, and again, I guess grumpy old man thing is that if I'm not there with my grandkids, it's not really what I want to do. However, my wife does enjoy wandering through the grounds and experiencing the whole thing, the sights and smells, and so we did a little bit of that, which was good, just enough for me to be able to handle it and just enough for her to enjoy it. And then we went into the show. An evening with Wilco. I think the concept behind this is not that it was like they were touring their latest album. It was more kind of a greatest hits, if you want, but a full rendering of their catalog of doing a lot of stuff from all through their career. And as usual, Jeff Tweedy was very funny. He's such a great leader and kind of showman in a very subtle way. Always funny stories, and he just gets the crowd in the palm of his hand. The band is the band. We've seen them so many times. I'll tell you a few things that kind of I took away from the whole thing. One of them is I was just reminded of how incredible Nels Cline is as a guitarist. So, ultimately the lead guitarist of Wilco does most of the lead lines. He plays so beautifully, melodically, but he also can get quite cacophonous in a really cool way. And the part that I didn't remember in the past that I was able to pick up, because the sound was remarkably good for what was ultimately a hockey arena. They did a really good job. Was the phrasings that he does in between things. So there's no question the lead guitar parts that he does are just really fantastic, and again, just emotive. I use that word when I really find that the it sort of pulls out, or it makes me it definitely just gives me an emotional charge when I hear him play. It's sometimes sad, sometimes, mostly it's just beautiful. It's just absolute. I don't know how else to describe his guitar playing other than it evokes a tremendous beauty on so many occasions, and also a kind of an energy, a build-up that he is so good at delivering. But it's the phrasing also between when the song is not, when it's not a traditional lead segment or section of the song where he shines. He's doing all these little bits which create kind of a coloring of the song. The other part that has been happening over the last 2 or 3 tours is Pat Sansone, who does keyboards and guitar. I guess technically really the third guitar player after Nels and Tweedy. He's been taking on a little bit more of a guitar role, and there is a track in the set that I've seen them do the last couple concerts, and it's off of Cruel Country. I'm looking at my notes here. Bird Without a Tail, Base of My Skull. And the first part is a sort of a standard sort of song, and the second part is a wonderful coda kind of instrumental piece that they do, and there is some exquisite interplay between Nels Cline and Pat Sansone, where they each take turns doing leads. They do them off of each other, and then they kind of build something together, mirroring each other. Fantastic. The set list, as you could imagine, with a kind of an evening with or a best of, outstanding, Impossible Germany, Box of Letters, that go right back to AM and right up to their most recent works. I guess the only thing, and it's not fair, but the only thing I kind of missed was Ashes of American Flags, which is really one of my top 20 Wilco songs. I mean, I've got so many favorite Wilco songs, but that said, just a fantastic set list. And then inevitably, I don't know what it is about the song, sometimes you can't really describe why a song moves you so much, but Via Chicago, the tremendous build up, the drum sort of flares of the drums and all of the instruments build into a crescendo, all cuts out. Looking for a home, looking for a home, looking for a home, Via Chicago. Gets me every time, honest to God, every time I hear that live, I just find this kind of welling of emotion coming up. Maybe I'll need some time with a therapist to figure it out, but quite frankly, I don't want to analyze it. I just love it. Via Chicago, fantastic. And I thought a little bit, when I was listening to it, I was thinking about Steve over at the Sonic Obsession. I think he and John both went to see Wilco many years ago, and they performed Via Chicago. And he talked about this situation that happened where the band was playing and this train was going by, kind of not in the not too distant future distance, and the rails were creaking, and it went perfectly with the song. And I thought about that a little bit. So Steve and John, I was thinking about you guys while I was listening to Via Chicago. It was awesome.